Did you know that over 80% of people get scammed in their lifetime? Now, I may have made that up, but something that I will not make up is that in the last video I scammed you by leading you to think that you were going to see the final colour of our Corvette Stingray. But I promise you that that is not the case for this video. By the end of this video you will see the final colour of our Corvette. And with that in mind, let's carry on where we left off. Now, some of you may be thinking, Zeus, I'm not sure if I can trust you again. You told us this was the final colour. Or the proof is in the pudding. As you can see, Marco hadn't even painted the door shuts. So as a fact, you should have known that wasn't the final colour. And with that in mind, did you know that there's no such thing as 0-calorie foods? Another thing that has not yet been painted, the inside of the doors. Which reminds me, in the last video Marco gave us some tips when taking out a young attractive female that we may be interested in. Marco, what should we open for them when taking them out? Once again, Marco's genius baffles me. Marco, if I apply such advice, what can I expect a young female to say in return?
Seguiremos.
Ah yes, like always, trustworthy advice. Let's carry on, she would say, as he just did. Now, as you can see, the paint job needs more work, more sanding. One of Marco's favourite things. If he was in Spider-Man, he'd probably be the Sandman. Now, when beginning this job, I told Marco, I said, Marco, the front of this job looks like a pre-Turkey Istanbul rhinoplasty teen. For those of you that do not know what that is, I suggest you Google the word rhinoplasty, which takes me to my next point. I said to him, Marco, is there such a thing you can do to fix such an ugly looking front? In his wise words, he looked at me and said, there is no such thing, no such task I cannot complete. And as you can see in the video, he went to work. Just like an Istanbul surgeon would go to work on somebody's nose, he starts cutting away at the dreadful front. You see, there are some things in this world that we can just live without. And this front bumper is one of them. Marco is about to show you why he lives up to his name of Marco Mods. As he chops away at that nose, even the most sophisticated of surgeons from Istanbul would be impressed. Which reminds me, did you know that the fear of long words is a 36-letter word called hippopotamon. I give up, you should Google it. And as Marco starts to chop away at the front of the car, it begins to look like the nose of a UFC fighter after 12 rounds in the octagon. But have no fear, for Marco would not be called Marco Mods if he did not have a plan. Yes, what you are seeing in front of your own eyes is Marco fabricating a custom grille for the Corvette. You see, around here we do not simply buy things, we build them. You see, the way that Marco manufactures these things, it sure does baffle me. I don't know how such a man can create something out of nothing. It's as if he's got 8 hands. Which reminds me, did you know that octopuses don't actually have tentacles? They have 8 limbs, but they're arms. And technically speaking, scientists define tentacles as limbs with suckers at the end of them. Sometimes I believe that Marco could have been a great octopus, the way he's getting through this job. And that leads me to another fact. Did you know that most maps of the world are actually incorrect or wrong? But I'll tell you what isn't incorrect or wrong. Marco's dedication and intelligence for this project. As you can see, the grille is now starting to take shape, and the beauty of this surgeon is shining through. Now you may be asking yourself, Zeus, what you just said doesn't make sense. But ask yourself this. Elephants, giraffes, Do they make sense? No, but they still exist, don't they? Now focusing back on the job, just look at how clean and slick that grille looks in comparison to the old front bumper. Marco, I ask of you your opinion, your wise words. What do you think of how the job is currently looking?
Matando la liga.
Matando la liga indeed, Marco. Or as it would translate to English, killing the league. Or in other words, more commonly known as smashing it. Now, as you may not know, a job that may seem so simple and quick to do can in fact take days. As you can see, it takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation, and a lot of Marco's talent. Which reminds me, wind turbines, they kill between 10,000 and 100,000 birds each year in the UK alone. And you can do something to save a bird now. All you have to do is like and share this video. Now, as I promised before, in this episode you will see the final colour reveal. But before we get to that point, we have some jobs to do, such as this grille, the exhaust, and other little bits of pieces that you will have to stay tuned in for. Now, if you're not tuned in, you're gonna have to lock in, because the longest anyone has ever held their breath underwater is over 24.5 minutes. But after this video, I believe that you may just break that record, because your breath is going to be taken away so much that you will struggle to breathe. Now, as we prepare for the final colour reveal, the final little bits that need to be done, such as the grille, as you can see, which has already been painted red. But will it stay that colour? Well, I can assure you that no, it won't. As you can see here, Marco starts to touch up the little bits and pieces that we need, including the grille, the wing mirrors, cleaning them up, making them look good as new. Now, as I said in the last video, I am Batman, so this car wouldn't be Batman's car without a bit of black. As you can see, Marco here cleaning up the whole engine bay. In the first video we saw that he cleaned it up, made it look as good as new. But the second part now, the engine part, cleaning up the air filter, the housing for the engine, making it all black, making it all look fresh. Even Bruce Wayne himself would be proud. And speaking of colours, did you know that flamingos aren't actually born pink? No, they actually come into the world with a grey and white feather combination, and they only develop pinkish hue after starting a diet of brine shrimp and blue-green algae. Now, as you can see, the car requires a lot of maintenance, a lot of cleaning before we can carry on. It's got 50 years worth of dirt. In fact, the only thing older than this car is actually Earth, with an estimated age of 4.54 billion years. Now, as we near paint preparation, one of the other little things to do, clean up the exhaust, get rid of the surface rust and paint it black, as you can see there. And once that's done, a bit of panel wipe to wipe over the whole car. After all its sanding jobs that it's had, we prepare it for paint. And after masking it, we can say, Marco, are we ready? I believe we are. But unfortunately, you have been deceived once again by my fraud. You see, upon commencing the final spray job on this vehicle, our artist Marco notices that his air compressor is simply not up to the task. So as a result, for his hard work, I gift him with the greatest compressor known to mankind, or at least to my budget. But little too late, the job has already been messed up. So once again, he must sand the whole car and prepare it once again for the final spray job. So yes, you have been frauded, but just bear with us, for you will see the final colour reveal this video. And just like a kid in a candy shop, he forgets his problems of the past, for this new compressor will unlock things that he never thought was possible. You see, with this compressor, it will make his job a lot easier, and it will also make the final job a much higher quality. Now, many of us would have come across such a problem and thought to ourselves, damn. But remember, beavers don't actually live in dams, so you shouldn't either. And so, after literal hours, days, weeks and months of working on the car, we arrive at this point. And so, after wiping the car down one more time, after hundreds of hours and transforming the garage into a paint booth, we're ready. I present to you the chosen colour. And there it is, guys. The candy blood red Corvette looks insane in person. Not even Marco's potato camera can do it justice. But the truth is, it's far from done. It's not even the end process of the actual paint job itself. So if you're enjoying it, please like, share and subscribe. And remember, we're just getting started.
Next time on Marco Mobs.